Hey guys, so today I want to talk to you about a piece of gear that I bought out of necessity last December, but it's actually become one of my favourite pieces of gear. This is the Godox V1s speedlight. The V1, which is the round head speedlight, and it's the S because that's for Sony. You can also get them in Canon, Nikon and Fuji as far as I know, and yeah, let's have a look at it. So it comes in a really nice case. One thing I really like about this from the off is that it's got this velcroed loop on the back, and that means you can attach it not only to your belt if you really want to, if you're travelling light, but also to a strap on the outside of a bag, so you don't have to take up room inside your bag with it. It's not waterproof or anything, but for most situations it'll be absolutely fine. And within that there's the traditional flash foot with a brass insert as well, so it's better than the old Canon ones. So you can use that to attach it to a stand or use it as a desktop stand as well, and I'll show you that in a minute. Now, especially for a Sony shooter, appreciate it being orange, but yeah, seriously, it makes sure that you don't lose the thing, and that you can tell if you've got multiple pouches which one is your flash pouch. So again, I quite like that, it's a good feature. Now, the flash that I really wanted was the Profoto A1, but unfortunately at the time that I needed a speedlight, they didn't do the A1X, which is the Sony mount version, and it was also hideously expensive, and I needed something that would just get the job done for a couple of end of year parties that I was covering at the end of last year near Christmas time. So yeah, this is what I went for. So like the Profoto A1, just take the grid off there, it is a round head. Now, who knows if it's actually kind of a better quality of light coming out of a round head than a rectangular kind of Fresnel head like you normally get on a speed light, but it gives a slightly bigger area, and bigger area is better. But it is only about 20–30% bigger area on the head than a traditional Fresnel speedlight. So unless you're kind of going with big lights, I can't see it making too much difference, but whatever, I like it. So nice simple design, and you don't have to press a button to release the head to rotate it. You just kind of go for it, and it's easy enough to turn, but it's not kind of too floppy, so if you're waving stuff around, it's not going to kind of reset that easily. It's very stable and sturdy, and it's extremely well made. Now, the best thing about this is, like, yeah, I came from owning Canon 430 EX2s, 580 EX2s and 600 EX-RTs. They were the last speedlights I ever owned. And for the past 2 years I've been using the Godox AD200s, which I'll do a review of next. So I've not owned an on-camera light, I've only owned off-camera stuff. So yeah, to have an on-camera light to me meant loads and loads of AA batteries, loads and loads of chargers, and the power diminishing from the fresh battery status all the way down to kind of zero power status, where the recycle time would get longer and longer and longer all the time, and it'd be really frustrating because you'd miss so many shots. Now, my favourite thing about this is it's powered by a lithium battery like our AD200s, and the difference is phenomenal, not only in the amount of shots per charge, the charging time, but also in the power available and the recycle time. Honestly, it's such a massive step up. Now, the clever thing about this flash is the battery compartment design, whereby normally you get like a flap on the side and you put your AA batteries in, you put the flap in. They have maximised the battery size by making it the battery the entire width of the speedlight. So if you show you there, the whole thing, there's a hole right the way through. So they've put the maximum size battery possible in there. I can't see how they could have fit a bigger one in, because they've got to fit all the kind of electronics and control stuff, and they've got to make sure it doesn't overheat as well. So yeah, this battery, absolutely phenomenal, and they give you a proper charger with it. which is tiny. So this will fit in any bag, and it just has some contacts there. You slip that on and you charge it over USB-C. They give you a USB-C charger, but you can also charge it through a power bank. And I also charge it through the power socket in the boot of my car as well on the way back from a job, so it's ready for the next day. So absolutely love it. And it's the first time I've owned a flash and I haven't felt the need to get an additional battery as well, because honestly I can't run this thing out. Shooting a quarter power, shooting kind of a couple of thousand shots, there's no slowdown. It only showed about half battery on it, so yeah, I have no problem just taking this out. And for me, that's a massive advantage because it means less spare batteries, less worrying about if your battery is going to die, anything like that. So absolutely amazing. Now it has the locking ring design, which I like, and then there's a push button to release it. Now this isn't a waterproof speedlight, unlike the Canon 600EX RTs that we had, which were really weatherproof. This isn't rated at all. There's no seal here, there's no seals here, there's no rubberized sections, the battery compartment isn't sealed, the buttons aren't sealed, and the interface between the hot shoe and the camera isn't sealed either. However, it is about a quarter of the price, so there's got to be some compromises there. What you get isn't kind of an all-weather, going out in the rain and shooting sports and kind of fast action thing. Not what it's for at all. What you get is probably the perfect speedlight for shooting events and anything indoors or in good weather, where you just need a bit of bounce flash, a little bit of fill. Like, this is it. This is absolutely it. If you need something more extreme, then you know you are not the customer for the Godox. However, I don't think if it was just like spitting, I'd take it out. I know it's not waterproof, but a couple of drops of rain on the top of here, I mean, there are no exposed joints on the top of here. It is just a smooth piece of plastic. A couple of drops of rain isn't going to do anything. It is battery powered, so it's low voltage, and then as long as I dried it out again later, I don't think I'd have any problem with that at all. In terms of the accessories, they are all magnetic. So like the Profoto, you get a magnetic ring here. So this is a grid, doesn't come with it, it comes in a separate accessory pack. I've got it, it's great. I'll show you all the contents in the next review. But yeah, basically stick the modifiers on and you're good to go. Because we used mag mods on the AD200s and we used them on the Canon speedlights as well. Fantastic to be able to use magnetic modifiers, but these come native. They're not as good quality, but they work really well. They're good quality enough that I don't need to worry about them breaking mid-shoot, but yeah, to have that system on board and not have to have the separate mag jacket that you have to have with the mag mods, big advantage, because again, simpler, less stuff to go wrong, less stuff to buy, less stuff to worry about and maintain, and it just makes that a really, really good shooting option. Now, in terms of operability, this is not like one of the limited cheap Canon speedlights where you can only use it in certain modes. This is like one of the 600 EXRTs where you have every mode going. So you have normal kind of on-camera flash, in manual, TTL, front curtain, second curtain, but you can also use it as a master trigger to trigger other Godox flashes like the AD200s, the AD200 Pros, more V1s, and most of the older ones, I think, all the radio powered ones. You can also put it in slave mode, so you can have this as a hair light or a rim light, and you can control it with any of the Godox triggers like the X1T, the X Pro S, and you can also trigger it from another one of these. So if you just have a pair of these, you can use one on camera in bounce mode and one off camera to give an extra bit of fill or a backlight, and you've got a perfect two light system. In terms of weight, they're dead light. They're all plastic construction except for the mount, which is metal Oh no, it's actually a plastic cold shoe, and it's just got the metal insert on it. That's why I thought that. So yeah, I'd say 90% plastic construction. Doesn't really bother me because it feels quite nice. I've used this on a few jobs now and I haven't been worried about it. It still looks brand new. There's not a single scratch on it. I've not actually taken the screen protector off it yet. But yeah, not a single kind of mark or scratch on it from being in my bag. I've not always used the pouch either. So yeah, quite impressed so far. In terms of the white balance and the consistency of the light, sorry, I should say, not a white balance, it is fairly consistent. It's not kind of Profoto or Elechrome consistent, but it's at least as good as the Canon speed lights, and it actually matches to the other Godox lights that we have really nicely as well. So there's a really nice even colour temperature from all the lights, and we can balance stuff in post if we need to. But yeah, it gives a really kind of nice daylight balanced look, and it works great. The metering works fantastic with the Sony cameras. Given the kind of normal Sony flash experience, I was expecting some hiccups and have to have quite a big learning curve, but honestly, after 5 minutes of shooting with this, I was getting some great exposures and getting great shots and not missing anything. So yeah, really impressed. Yeah, with the metering, with the consistency, with the battery, with the magnetic mount, with the overall design and everything, and the lightweight body. Honestly, and the final thing that I need to talk about is the price. Now, this was £220 in the UK. It came with the pouch, the flash foot, the charger, the battery. Yeah, honestly, for the price, if you compare this to the A1X at £900, you can almost get 5. Yeah, well, you can definitely get 4 of these and a trigger for the price of one A1X. So if you are on a budget, then yeah, certainly something to consider. I don't regret it. I thought I would. I wasn't so sure when I bought it, but I just needed to get something. And yeah, I actually really love it. I can't wait to go out shooting with this again in event season if we're ever able to leave the house again. And yeah, really put it through its paces for the rest of the year. But so far, really love it on camera and off camera. I've used it on a couple of commercial shoots, I've used it on a couple of weddings, I've used it at 3 or 4 parties over Christmas time in really dark venues, and on camera and off camera it's been flawless. Can't say anything bad about it really, other than the fact it has a plastic cold shoe, yeah, which makes mounting it on off-camera mounts kind of a little precarious, because I'm always worried they're going to snap off, and they don't quite have the longevity kind of taking it on and off and on and off the camera that a metal mount does. But if that's the only compromise, then I can certainly live with that. I might do a longer term review after I've shot another kind of 30 or 40 jobs with this, just to see how it's holding up, but I do expect to be getting another one of these for the start of the season, because I am so impressed with it, and it is easier to mount on stuff than the AD200s, and certainly easier to fit in your bag because it's a traditional speedlight size. So that's it, the V1s. Can't say enough good things about it. I'll put the full spec on an Amazon link in the description just so you can see, but whatever your camera system, there will be a V1 to go with it. So yeah, that's about it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the review. I really appreciate it when you subscribe to the channel. I've got loads of more photography and filmmaking reviews coming up, so don't miss that, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much, guys.